Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Harper, and my research question for this research proposal is, what is the impact of tourism on crime rates in major and minor tourism destinations? I believe that this is a very important topic to research because almost everybody around the globe goes on vacation at least once a year, many time with their families, and they believe that safety is definitely the utmost importance when traveling abroad. Uh, the research that I plan to use will help us analyze better ways to keep tourists safe, as well as make sure if crimes are committed against them, that they are able to properly report them and they are handled seriously, but are also tracked as tourism crimes, because crimes against tourists tend to be handled a little less seriously than those committed against residents that live in that area. But this number of reported tourism crimes is very hard to find. That is why it's referred to as the dark figure of tourism crime, as the regular one would be referred to as the dark figure of crime. But to negate this, there are a couple of programs that have been put into place across the world. There is the EFUS in Europe, which is a organization that combines 250 different police departments across the country of Europe, as well as the tourism bureaus nationwide in that area to help them come together and report these crimes correctly so that the statistics can show what areas have higher rates of crime and what areas are regularly safer. And this allows for police officers to be able to recognize and report to those crime-filled areas and make sure that the tourists in that area are safer than they were previously. Of course, this doesn't exactly work in some areas. Some areas have lower crime rates, such as New Zealand, and some places like New Orleans, Louisiana, of course, are going to have crime no matter what the police rate is. But that's despite the point. As well as EFUS, the University of Central Florida is also doing a somewhat similar program where they partner with the police departments to report to figure out what the number of unreported crimes are against tourists in those areas as well. The difference between the EFUS and the program that UCF runs is the program that UCF runs actually trains police officers on how to deal with tourists specifically. Many tourists feel like their crimes are being taken way more seriously if a police officer calmly and coolly approaches them and helps them through the entire process and kind of lays out what it's going to be like from this point forward and ensures them of their safety. They're more likely to come back to that tourist destination even though a crime was committed against them. And of course, this helps not only the tourists feel safe, but it also boosts the economy because they're willing to come back and spend more money in these areas. It also works to keep the entirety of that area safer in general. But the way that I intend to collect the data for this program is kind of the same way that the EFUS and the UCF program do. I want to get the police reports that tourists have filed, as well as the statistics from the tourism bureaus themselves in these different areas that I've chosen, and triangulate whether or not the amount of tourists in that area increases the amount of crime that's committed in that area. And I do believe, once again, that this would be a very beneficial thing to research because once we have those statistics solidified and there is a correlation found between the amount of tourists in an area and the amount of crime, even if it doesn't have exactly where the crime is going on, we are able to police those areas better if we know what areas need more police to be there. So I believe that this would be of utmost importance, and your consideration for allowing me to research this would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much.